Hello, hello, hello. This is your favorite marriage and family therapist and host of Damage Control, Dr. Wheatley, coming at you. I'm just laying in the bed, don't have anything going on at the moment. However, I am in a interesting space. Yesterday, I threw away all of my makeup. I almost want to cry just saying that. I almost want to cry, y'all. Just saying that. Um, which lets me know that it was the right decision. This isn't a for the rest of my life type of thing, but it is a bit of a journey. Do I know what that journey is going to look like? No. Do I know how long that journey is going to last? No. Do I know that it's probably going to press on some sensitive areas? Sure. you know just like most journeys do. This is why I do what I do, because it's such a blessing to be a part of other individuals progress. But even in that, it's still important you have your own. you know and I think this might be my first time coming on without makeup or some type of filter. This is just what I look like when I wake up in the morning. So if I did put some lip gloss on, cause y'all kind of be getting people in the comments for like chapped lips, and I just don't need that energy. I don't need the energy. Okay, but yeah, I grabbed a big, huge garbage bag, and I cleaned out my makeup drawer. I cleaned out all my makeup bags, and I cried. And I think part of the reason why I cried is because I've been so dependent on it, you know, to feel socially beautiful, you know. Um, and I don't know if I've ever really had the chance to decide whether or not I was beautiful, because the world will tell you. The world tells you. When I was a kid, I did not have blonde hair. As you can see, I have a sandy brown hair. I was born, it was blonde all up here, and then like this sandy brown color, almost same color as my eyes, which are chestnut. And so I would go to school, and I went to school in predominantly urban neighborhoods. And so, the kids would say, ew, what's wrong with you? Why do you look like that? You know, why why are you so light? Like, are you white? I'm like, no, not white, and they'd be like, are you mixed? And I'm like, no. My mom is black and my dad is black, but my dad is just light skinned. Um, and they would say, no, you have to be mixed. You have to be. And I'm like I don't know who my who my own parents are, right? Like, you gotta be mixed because you don't look like us. And so I was taught very early that I was different, but it wasn't a good kind of different. It was the everybody isolate her, don't be around her because she's not like us, different. And you know, um, I'm sorry, guys. It was just hard. It was hard because you want community, and I knew that I was that my mom was black, and my dad wasn't even really in my life. My grandma was black. My whole family was black, and it was hard enough that I was the only light skinned person in the house, you know. Um, but then going to school and being looked at like a science project, it's tough. When all you really want to do is fit in, people would ask me, "Why do you talk like that?" I didn't even know what like that was. You have an accent, you sound white. What does that mean? Like I didn't even know like how to stop doing it. I didn't know how to not be whatever it was that just wasn't black enough for them. Um, and so I think as I got um, older, I stayed in these neighborhoods, and so I tried to acclimate to these neighborhoods. I cut my hair, and I got a perm, and I did, I was doing things to try to fit a stereotype that I don't really know if I really believed in. Um, However, whenever slavery was talked about in class, it would be somewhat of an issue because they would talk about house slaves versus field slaves, and everybody would tell me I would have been in the house because I was white, and I it they would talk to me like I couldn't share in the black experience because apparently my experience would not have. Now none of us have been slaves. Let's be honest here. None of us had been slaves. Okay. But hypothetically their experience would have been worse than mine. you know um I think that I think before I went to school, I think I thought I was pretty. I think I believed it. I don't remember, but I think that I did. I think I did. But after years of people telling you that you're ugly and that something's wrong, why can we see? I don't think you can see them anymore. Yeah, you can right here. Like they were like, why can we see veins in your head? You transparent, And then, I didn't get a lot of sleep at night, and that's another story for a different day. But I would have dark around my eyes, and they would call me Dead Grave. Now, between me and you, that nickname sound dumb. That's stupid. Dead Grave. Like as a 41-year-old person, I get it. That nickname is dumb. But when you have a bunch of people screaming it at you all at one time, your nervous system doesn't stop to think, oh yeah, that's stupid. It's just like danger, danger, And so typically I would just cry. Um, but like I said, when I was older, I started to wear makeup about 15, and things really changed. And I also think that we have finally moved a little bit further out of that area, which was helpful. Um, but ever since then, like I felt like if I didn't have it on, something was missing, or I would often feel like people could see right through me. And now as a doctor and a therapist and a host and a speaker and a commentator and all of these other things, um, outside of being a parent and everything else, because I do have a personal life. Um, I think it's just time for me to give myself a chance to determine what I think. And maybe I'll take you guys along for the ride. We'll see.